Imagine that you were enrolling your child into a new school. You would want to know what the neighborhood was like, you'd want to know what the school staff was like, such as the teachers and principals, and you'd want to know what was going to be taught in that school. STEM is something that educators have been recently looking over. It's science, technology, engineering, and math. The knowledge of this research is important for all of us to know, for parents who are enrolling their kids in school, for future parents who want to know what elementary school is the best, and for teachers who want to know what they could possibly be teaching in the future. A recent STEM study done by Drs. Becker and Park has 4 important aspects to it. The first is the literature review, which goes over past studies and gives this one the ground that it needs. The second part is the methods section, which tells all of the methods that they used in their research. The third is the results, which explains all the results that they obtained from the study. And the fourth is the discussion, which talks about the results and what they mean for the future. First is the literature review, which talks about the past studies. Stephanie Basaliga, a writer for the Daily Journal of Commerce, found in 2003 that an ACT test study reported that the number of students who marked on their test that engineering is something that they would be interested in dropped from 9% to 6% in just a span of 5 years. And they have also found that the integrative efforts in engineering alone has helped students not only get better in math and science that are interested in engineering, but also students that aren't interested in engineering at all. The literature portion also introduces the purpose of the study. And this study had 2 major purposes. The first was that many teachers are unaware of STEM and the benefits that it has, and that it also is made to give STEM just more output into people's lives and to let them know how important it really is for education. And so now that you know what the literature review is, I can tell you all about the methods they used. The main method that they used to collect their data is meta-analysis. And in his own study in 1976, Gene Glass from the University of Colorado found that meta-analysis combines quantitative results from other studies and puts them together on the same topic to find effect sizes for a current study. And in the initial research, they found 98 studies that they wanted to look over. But then to calculate their actual effect size to use, they got it narrowed down to 28 studies, and they recorded their data using chi-squares, means, and it was a very mathematical study. So now that you know the methods, I can tell you about the results. The doctors had 4 major research questions. The first was, what would be the effects of STEM? And with the different sample sizes, what could they do with it? And in that study, they actually found that the traditional approach outperformed their integrative approaches. The second major question was grade levels, and what would putting it in different grade levels, what effect would that have? 11% of the studies were done in an elementary school, 32% were done in a middle school, 43% were done in a high school, and 14% were done at the college level. And just that fluctuation of percentages shows that it's generalizable to all students. The third question was, what aspects of STEM would be most helpful to students? And they studied the 7 forms of STEM. And when they say the 7 forms, that just means like what they decided to teach together, whether it was science and technology together, or science and math together, or engineering and technology together, however they decided to put it together. So 36% of the studies were over math and science taught together, 18% were over engineering, science, and technology taught together, another 18% were over math, science, and technology, and the last 18% were over just science and technology. And the fourth and final research question that they had was which one of those would show the most improved score. And it actually ended up being math and science that had the greatest improvement in their effect sizes. And so now that you know the results, we can begin to find out what this could mean for the future. In his own research on STEM in 2009, Mark Sanders found that students' attitude toward the STEM subjects greatly influences whether or not they'll be interested in this in the future. And in a paper written by Aaron Clark and Jeremy Ernst in The Technology Teacher in 2007, they said that not only does it matter on the students and the teachers' attitude towards STEM, but you also have to have a good foundation from your principal and your administrative staff. And another part to the discussion was, when is it going to be the most helpful for students? And they found, we have that saying that says you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Well, it kind of goes the same for this. Anything that you can cram into the elementary level is going to be better later on, because they'll already have that knowledge and they'll already know about it at the college level. So it'll kind of help them decide what they want to do earlier on. And so in conclusion, STEM has showed many positive effects in the areas that, the science, the technology, the engineering, and the math. I've gone over the 4 important aspects: the literature review, which goes over past studies, the methods section, the results, and the discussion, which tells what the research means for future implementation in the schools. Past and present research is always important to know for parents, teachers, and even just the general public. And I hope that you will go on to look more into the STEM research, because it's very important to our education system.